What's up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, Lioness here, and today we are going to review a zombie movie. And today, the zombie movie we're going to react to is called Dead Clowns. Now, this movie came out in 2003, and oh my goodness, this one is about 17 years old, I believe. And this movie is basically about clowns that are zombies. Now, I could do understand, this movie is very underrated, like underrated movie. So basically, even though it's a low budget film, I could definitely understand, this is actually pretty interesting. But I do have some flaws in it that I would want to make a mention of. But before I begin, if you guys have not seen Dead Clowns and you do not want me to spoil it, I highly recommend you click off this video right now and go watch one of my videos if you like. Just warning you, people, for those who have not seen Dead Clowns, I am going to be spoiling pretty much what I do know about it because, I've seen it only once and I could definitely say there were some parts of the movie that I do like. So, but that being said, I'm going to begin with the plot. Now, this has been directed by Steve Sessions, and he directed this film, and I could say he did a pretty good job. However, though, I do have some flaws and stuff that I want to make a mention of after I review. Now, I'm basically going to explain, what's going on now. First of all, this has taken place, in a small town in Florida where there was a train. It was a circus train, and the clowns were in there and other stuff, and the circus was coming to town. However, a boat accidentally bumped into a bridge, and as soon as the boat accidentally bumped into the bridge, the train fell into the water, and all the clowns and everyone died. About 50 years later, there is a big hurricane, and what happens is the clowns that died in the water 50 years ago from the train and crashing in there in the water, they come out of the water and start attacking the town. Like, they're not really attacking, not really the town, like, not the entire town, but just only attacking a few people. Like, they're going through different houses and some person at a movie theater or something like that. And yeah, this this movie was actually pretty interesting. Now, what I could just say is, that's basically what the plot is. Now, I'm not spoiling too much, but I could definitely say that, I haven't seen this movie in like a while. I've only seen it once. So I could definitely say, there are, like I'm going to say like I said right now, there are some flaws in this movie. Now, I was going to say this for Halloween, but I decided why not because, I'm bored. I don't really know what to do and I'm bored. So why not? So basically, what I'm going to say right now is this movie was a decent zombie film. Now, some people don't like it, which, for those who don't like this movie, that is totally understandable. And if you guys like it, that's perfectly fine. Now, I can definitely say that I like some stuff about this movie, but however, it does have some flaws in there that I want to make a mention of. Now, one of the good things I liked was the fact that the plot was actually decent. Like, the plot actually follows pretty interesting. It's not like a zombie outbreak randomly just happens, not like Shaun of the Dead, It's not like Shaun of the Dead when, one day is normal and then the next day, there's the zombie outbreak. It's a little different. Basically, the town, everything's all going normal, but however 50 years later, we get a hurricane and some zombies coming out of the water, which I could definitely say that's actually quite interesting in the plot, to say the least. Now, however, the zombies, the clowns, actually, are still wearing the clothing and all that from, but when the train plunged into the river, and they look exactly the same, except they are looking very different. Like most of the film, when you see the clowns come in, you mainly see their clown shoes walking. Like, and every time you see them, you will see mainly their feet walking. Occasionally, you would see them, their faces and stuff like that. And you would occasionally see them, eating, eating people and stuff like that. And the gore in this is actually quite interesting. Like, I could definitely say the gore is just as good as any other zombie movie. It's kind of like from a George A. Romero film, except it's a little different. Like, one of them I could say is, the way that they were killing the people, attacking them. I think there was one scene where the guy, gets not impaled, but he gets like a door or shelf or something, collapses on him, on his body, and only his hands and his head was visible. And then a zombie comes in with like a machete and cuts his arm off. You see that. Zombies don't usually use that kind of stuff, but I understand, this movie was trying to come up with something different. But I feel that this is kind of, not really ripping off Burial Ground Nights of Terror, but I kind of say they're kind of similar, and it's kind of like they're trying to, repeat what they did in Burial Ground Nights of Terror, which I will be reviewing. In Burial Ground Nights of Terror, you see, a maid named Catherine gets her head decapitated by a sickle or a scythe. Oh, yeah, a scythe, not a sickle, a scythe, kind of like what the Grim Reaper uses. The fact that that the zombie, used the machete to, cut this one guy's arm off, I feel that it's kind of repeating, what the Burial Ground Nights of Terror zombies were doing, doing stuff that humans can do, like opening doors, using weapons and stuff like that. I have a feeling that it could be, not really ripping off Burial Ground, but I could say that, it kind of, takes away from the story. Not entirely of the storyline, but it kind of, feels almost the same. It's not too repetitive, but there is some flaws of it, so I can definitely say. Now, another thing for sure is that even the clowns were looking like decayed, like they even look like skeleton and all that. But what I can definitely say, they look like it, but however, the zombies, take a look at the zombies from Burial Ground Nights of Terror. Some of them have like show skeleton, no face features and stuff like that. And this one kind of does on some of them. Like some of the dead clown zombies are kind of showing that. But I kind of feel maybe they, that kind of, took away, that kind of, repeated what Burial Ground Nights of Terror did. Like, I understand if this was Steve Sessions, like, first movie to direct or something like that. But what I could advise him to do is, kind of expand your mind a bit when it comes to making movies. Here's something what I'm going to say right now, people. If you're ever going to direct a movie in the future, you need to expand your mind on certain things. You don't want to repeat, certain things that have been done before. Not really. I'm not saying it's ripping off Burial Ground, but it kind of, took away from the movie, if you know what I mean. All those flaws that are in there, it took me away from the movie, so that kind of why I really didn't like the movie too much. The gore is pretty good, and the blood, I can definitely say that, is pretty good, just like a George A. Romero film. But however, I think some parts of the movie is kind of like, kind of taking me away, because, I have a feeling it's copying Burial Ground Nights of Terror. Because if it was a ripoff of that, I would have, trashed this story and ranted on it. But I'm not, because I'm calm about it. But I kind of want to, see from my own perspective. And yet, that's my opinion. Now, what could have been done to make the film better is maybe, I understand, it's 50 years later and all that, but maybe the zombies, coming back to life and they look all, skeleton, corpse and all that, what could have been done to make it better is maybe they would have had, something else, kind of expand in the mind, when it comes to directing a movie, you have to expand your mind. Because if you're not expanding your mind, you just keep repeating the same plot or something over and over again, or keep repeating the same stunts that has been done over and over again, it doesn't really, it takes you away from it. So I'm just kind of, giving advice for anyone who is planning on becoming a director. But what could have been done better is maybe the zombies looking a little more different. Like, even if they look like the ones from, Zombieland and all that, even if they do end up liking those zombies or anything like that, at least it'd be better. at least it would have been better. If you're gonna have, something that has been done before in a zombie movie, you're gonna have something to expand your mind on that, saying why it's like that. With Burial Ground, they just came out of the zombies just came out of the ground and they were already, half skeletal corpses because, well, they were underground for so long. But in this one, I could definitely say they came out of the river and all that. But I kind of feel they're kind of copying Burial Ground, except they're not really. Except that these zombies came out of the water, not under the ground. Alright. I just, kind of babbled too much about that, so I'm kind of, wanting to, get my review. Okay. Now, like I'm going to say right now, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to this movie, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this movie would have to be, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because the gore was good, the plot line was actually interesting, and the fact that it's involving clowns as zombies, the gore was good. But the zombies could have, been a little more different than the ones from Burial Ground. And, the fact that the zombies were using these, tools and all that, I kind of feel that it had a couple flaws in there. That's kind of all I can say. I know there's some other flaws, but I can't seem to point them out, really. You'll have to watch the movie. It is on YouTube. If I do remember, I'll be sure to put a link down in the... You know what? I'm going to probably put the link in the description below for those of you who want to go see that movie if you haven't. So, yeah, I'll be sure to put the link of the movie in down description below for any of you guys who want to check out the movie. I will be sure to leave a link down in the description down below. Now, anyways, what did you all think about this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this movie a lot better? Leaving out what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the channel Lioness. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell for when I upload so you will not miss an upload. And with that said, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.